We'll give you a hug because we love ya.
Welcome to the Huggable Huddle, coming to you live from CHCD TV. We're here with Wendell today. Wendell, thank you for coming in. He created the first annual Capital City Fredericton Walk the Bridges and fundraising money for Breathe. That's the Lung Association. Wendell, we talked a bit before, and he's going to give you the story that started the journey to this walk.
Basically, I just started 5 years ago. Between Christmas of 2011 and February of 2012, I was hospitalized 6 times. And in January, diagnosed as very severe COPD. In February 26, I was released with 23% lung capacity, and I was on oxygen 24/7. I had 2 small oxygen tanks I carried with me all the time in case one ran out. I had a huge oxygen tank at my house. I had hoses all through my house. Had an oxygen concentrator. And just to get all that set up alone is like a $4,000 expense to get that. And Medicare doesn't cover oxygen.
Yeah.
So if you don't have an insurance plan, it can be a very, very costly situation to be in. And so for me to do the Walk the Bridges, the first annual Capital City Walk the Bridges for Breathe, the Lung Association, was to create some kind of a fund to help the people that are in that situation that don't have insurance and Medicare doesn't cover some of the help. There's 57,000 diagnosed COPD patients in New Brunswick. There's over 1 million in Canada. It's the number 2 cause of hospitalization in Canada. It's the number 1 cause of rehospitalization in Canada because for about 5 years in the depth of my illness, I would be hospitalized like 5 to 6 times a year. I have a couple of very good friends who reached out to me at that time. One was the people at Simply for Life.
Yeah.
And they worked with me on foods. Healthy foods that didn't bother people with breathing problems. One of the things that bothered me a lot was dairy products.
Okay.
And it creates a lot of phlegm. And so I stopped using dairy products. And I stopped using a lot of like white breads, pastas, things that weren't healthy for people. And my good friend, and I know you're a friend with him on Facebook, was Spence Court.
Yeah.
And he opened up his gym, Naturally Fit, free of charge to me and my wife to go down there and do anything we needed to do. So I would go down there and walk on the treadmill 3 or 4 minutes
Yes.
and go home and go to bed for the rest of that day and rest the second day to go back for another day for another 3 to 4 minutes. And I wasn't increasing my lung capacity in any way at that point, but through some proper eating, I did lose about 25 pounds, and I ran into some people who had some natural herbal products, and I started using them. And then one day I had to go down to the mini barn and get a screwdriver, and I went down and back, and I didn't take my oxygen tank with me. So it was like, what just happened?
It's your first.
My first hint.
Yeah.
My first hint that I was on the road to recovery.
Yeah.
And it was 38 days after that I had a PFT, a pulmonary function test, where they do a test to see where you're at in your lungs. And I had gone in that short period of time from 23% to 29%. And I had to have these every 6 months.
Yeah.
So the next 6 months when I was at 34%. Next 6 months I was at 40%.
On the mend.
On the mend.
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, okay, I've got this beat. I came off of oxygen. It's been 44 months now since I've used oxygen at all. And a year ago, I made a decision. A year ago, I started with my wife just walking the walking bridge, which was a real struggle the first time. The second time was easier. And then we did it like once a week for about 8 weeks. And by the time I did it the 8th time, I could go over and back nonstop. So I knew that I was getting stronger. And so I wanted to continue that road. And I was invited to go to legislature in November. They declared November Lung Month. And the Honorable Victor Boudreau, the Minister of Health, introduced me as a COPD warrior, being the first person that they know of in history that has actually reversed COPD. And so I met with people from the Lung Association that day, and I said that I want to do some type of awareness for the public. And I said, why not walk the bridges? Because I had already told my wife, next year we'll walk the bridges. I felt that confident that I was going to recover enough to do that. So they said that would be awesome. And I said, I'm going to do it as a fundraiser. It was just a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah.
So last Sunday, 9 a.m., we started at Pickeroons. There were about 45 people there.
Yeah.
And I had done it twice before. The first time it took me 2 hours. Second time I did it with my wife, it took me 1 hour and 45 minutes. Sunday I did it in 1 hour and 15 minutes.
It's good, yeah.
So
Group behind you pushing you
Group
along.
behind me pushed me. I kind of made a post on Facebook and I said they were the wind beneath my wings. You know, they gave me the energy that I needed to do this. So now that I know I can do it, my next goal is to do it in 1 hour.
No, yeah, and we had talked actually earlier when we were talking, you always said, if you don't have something set out, you don't know where you're going. And since, from starting the journey obviously, you started a journey at a bad place. You started because you had no choice, and you could have just, like you said, went to bed and put your gym pants on and went to sleep and just waited it out. Instead, you started setting those goals for yourself. But had you not set any goals, you wouldn't have known where to go.
Well, I wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
No, really, that's the realism of it all.
Where it is, yeah.
You have to believe everything is when you have a positive mindset and you have dreams, you have visions, and you speak them.
Yeah.
And not to yourself. Don't talk to yourself. Tell people that
Tell
the world you're going to do something. So next year we're going to do the second annual Walk the Bridges, and my goal is to have at least 100 people walk with me, and my goal then is to quadruple the fund.
And well, I want to thank everyone for watching, and if this story doesn't make you want to be positive, be a greater person, and try to help others whenever you can, look for the positive in all situations and see where you can help everyone. Thank you very much, and have a huggable day.